It is that time of year where a lot of coaches and GMs are throwing their support, their confidence behind their current starting quarterback,
so
right?
much confidence.
So yesterday it was the Dolphins' new coach, Mike McDaniel, saying Tua has some untapped skills that he's excited for. Again, we can't be sure if it's simply because there aren't that many quarterbacks truly on the market, especially with GM Chris Greer closing the door on Deshaun Watson to Miami. So whatever the case, how do you feel about Tua's fantasy potential in McDaniel's system? What do we think, Geoff?
Yeah, I mean, tons of untapped potential might be stretching it a little bit, but at the same time, McDaniels is a dude who obviously has worked under Kyle Shanahan his entire career. He's probably going to come in, run some kind of similar, wide zone run scheme to Kyle Shanahan. He's probably going to have some kind of West Coast offense with a lot of just sort of short slants, short passing plays. And I think that Tua, the one thing he's proven, he can be pretty accurate in the right type of system. Is he a good downfield passer? No, he had 13 attempts of 20 plus yards last year. I don't really think that's going to change. But if Mike McDaniel, who's obviously kind of the talk of the town right now, isn't really going to do that and have this big like Bruce Arians push it down the field scheme, he probably does see some untapped potential into a Tagovailoa. And look, stability is a big thing. We touched on it yesterday with head coaches. It's the same with quarterbacks. He's got a third-year QB here in Tua. Took a little bit of step up in certain categories last year. Wasn't a huge one, but no, I think there's something to it. At the same time, there's obviously a little bit of hyperbole in saying there's tons of untapped potential as well.
Okay, Steve, what do we think? Are you feeling all the untapped potential?
I mean, I think that's a little bit of a stretch when you talk about untapped potential, but I mean, I think it's fair to say that this was a shaky year for the Dolphins overall. I mean, that team was absolutely ravaged by injuries. It felt like since day one. Then they had that unbelievable second half where all of a sudden it looked like they were going to be making the playoffs. Obviously, Tua missed a handful of games during the season as well, so that was a factor as well. If this team can actually stay healthy, if they can actually get some protection in front of Tua, I think we can actually start to see more of him. Everybody is so quick that they just want to drop Tua. Oh, we're done with him already. We need to get somebody else. Who are you going to get? Who are you going to go out and get? That's the problem there. This isn't a strong class and you draft a quarterback in. There's not a lot of suitors that you can go to and get like a legit QB1. What are you going to do? Get Sam Darnold? What are you going to do? Get Kirk Cousins? Like, that's not going to be the answer there. You have Tua. You go with Tua. If it doesn't work out after this year, then fine. Maybe we can start talking about moving in another direction. But I think in the new system here that they're going to be getting, I think it's worth taking a look at Tua, at least in the first half of the season, see what we can get out of him from here.
All right, Pearce, how do we feel about this?
Yeah, I don't trust these young genius coordinators, but I am impressed with his adaptability. San Francisco had the fourth best offense when you adjust for defense last season, and they didn't really have a great quarterback. And so McDaniel adjusted the offense. They worked plays to Deebo Samuel in creative ways. They leaned on a good offensive line. They leaned on a good run attack, and they found ways to be a good offense. So he's going to have to adjust again and adapt to the bad offensive line that Steve just mentioned. And, I mean, if he can figure that out, they've got the pass catchers in Miami. Tua can absolutely have the big numbers. And if Duke Johnson is still going to be their number one running back, they could be passing the ball 75% of the time. They may not win any games, but for fantasy purposes, Tua is going to get so much volume in action, and it's probably going to be a short passing game, but that could work with Waddle. So I think fantasy-wise, I feel pretty comfortable. Now, in terms of making the playoffs, not so much.